Gentlemen, gather round and let me ask you something. Have you ever stood there, scratching your head, utterly baffled by the strange, beautiful, and maddening mystery that is woman? Don't lie. We've all been there. She smiles, and the world feels right. She frowns, and suddenly, you're rethinking every decision you've ever made. What sorcery is this? Let me tell you, most men stumble through relationships like a man lost in a dense fog, bumping into furniture and hoping for the best. But today, my good friends, we're lighting the lantern. No more blindfolds, no more guesswork. I'm here to pull back the curtain and reveal the 7 hidden vulnerabilities of women. Truths that will change the way you see them, and perhaps even yourself. Now, before you start imagining me as some kind of relationship wizard, let me assure you, these aren't tricks or gimmicks. This is the real, unvarnished stuff. Insights that will make you the captain of your own ship, steering confidently through the tempestuous seas of human connection. So, buckle up. Grab your pipe, your notebook, or whatever makes you feel wise. What lies ahead isn't just a lesson in love. It's a compass for understanding. And once you know these truths, my friend, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Ready? Let's dive in. 1. The quiet terror. Her fear of being overlooked. Now, let's stroll into the first of these delicate territories. One that's as old as time and twice as tricky to navigate. A woman's fear of being ignored. Yes, gentlemen, for all their poise, confidence, and occasional air of invincibility, this is the Achilles heel that few will admit to, but nearly all possess. Imagine this. The lively hum of a room fades, conversations drift, and suddenly she's no longer the center of attention. To you, it might seem like a small thing, but to her, it's an earthquake shaking the foundation of her confidence. And here's where it gets interesting. The moment you pull your attention away, even for a beat, you'll notice something remarkable. She leans in, not physically, perhaps, but emotionally, mentally. Why? Because attention is her lifeline, and the absence of it stirs an ancient, primal vulnerability, the fear of being unseen. Now, don't get any mischievous ideas here. This isn't a call to play the puppet master, yanking your focus away just to see her reaction. No, that's amateur work. This is about understanding the fine art of measured attention. Like a maestro conducting an orchestra, you must give enough to enchant, but hold back just enough to intrigue. Think of it like watering a delicate plant. Drown it and it wilts. Neglect it and it withers. But give it just the right amount and it thrives. The same goes for attention. Too much and you risk becoming predictable, even dull. Too little and you'll seem indifferent, even cruel. The secret lies in balance. The high-value man, let's call him a Sigma for flair, knows this. He understands that attention is precious, a currency not to be spent recklessly. By knowing when to engage and when to step back, he maintains an air of intrigue while respecting her need for connection. So, gentlemen, wield your attention wisely. Use it not to manipulate, but to build a relationship where she feels valued and seen, yet always curious about the next note in your symphony. That's how you touch her heart and keep her guessing. 2. Emotional security, the fortress she seeks. Emotional security, a need so intrinsic, so quietly vital, it might as well be stitched into a woman's soul. Gentlemen, if you've ever wondered what truly steadies the stormy seas of a woman's heart, this is it. And no, It's not just about keeping your cool or offering the occasional shoulder to cry on. It's about being the lighthouse in her tempest, the rock that tides cannot erode. Women, you see, don't just want a man who can chop firewood or wrestle a grizzly. Though it doesn't hurt, they crave someone who's unshaken when life decides to throw its finest chaos. She doesn't need you to solve every problem, but she does need to feel that when the world starts wobbling, you'll stand firm. No teetering, no collapsing, no "what do we do now?" And here's where most men stumble. They let their emotions whip them around like a wind-tossed flag, unraveling faster than a cheap sweater. This, my friends, is the death knell of emotional security. Women aren't looking for a roller coaster ride. They want the dependable train, the one that shows up on time and doesn't derail when faced with a little turbulence. Now, think back to the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, those ancient champions of calm resolve. They didn't flinch when Rome burned, literally or metaphorically. They stood their ground, composed and calculated. Be that. Not just for her, but for yourself. Because when you master your emotions, you're no longer a slave to them. And that, my friend, is power. Give her a reason to feel safe. Not with grand gestures, but with the simple, steadfast presence of a man who knows himself. When she feels that security, she'll trust you with her heart, her fears, her everything. That, gentlemen, is a reward worth striving for. 3. The quest for the perfect relationship, a fool's errand. Ah, the perfect relationship, a shimmering mirage on the horizon of every woman's heart. It's an enticing dream, isn't it? Candlelit dinners with no dishes to wash, endless understanding with zero miscommunication, and passionate love without a single disagreement. But let me tell you, gentlemen, perfection in relationships is as real as a $3 bill. And yet, many a man has broken his back chasing this illusion, bending over backwards to meet every whim, appease every complaint, and craft himself into a flawless partner. The result? Exhaustion, disappointment, and a slow erosion of self-respect. You see, when you try to be her idea of perfect, you lose the very thing that made you intriguing in the first place: your authenticity. A high-value man doesn't chase fairy tales. He writes his own story. He doesn't buy into the myth of flawlessness, but embraces the beautiful chaos of reality. Life is messy, love is complicated, and arguments over who left the cap off the toothpaste are inevitable. What truly draws a woman in is not a man who promises perfection, but one who offers stability, honesty, and the courage to navigate the stormy seas of real connection. So don't twist yourself into a pretzel trying to please. Be grounded, set your boundaries, show her what a balanced, meaningful relationship looks like, warts and all. It's not about ticking off every box on her list of ideals. It's about respecting your own values while offering her a partnership rooted in authenticity. When you stand firm in who you are, you create something far more attractive than perfection. Trust, respect, and the kind of connection that lasts beyond the fleeting dreams of fairy tales. 4. The high-value man, a rare breed. Ah, the high-value man, a creature as rare as a four-leaf clover and twice as captivating. What is it about this mythical figure that makes women take notice, you ask? It's not just the crispness of his suit or the gleam of his shoes, though those don't hurt. No, it's something deeper, something woven into his very presence. A quiet, unshakable assurance that says, I know who I am, and I don't need to prove it to anyone. First, let's talk grooming. Yes, gentlemen, A proper shave and polished shoes might seem trivial, but they're not. They're signals. Signals that you respect yourself, that you value order in a world teetering on chaos. A man who takes care of his appearance doesn't just look good, he sends a message that he's disciplined and intentional. And believe me, women notice. But here's the secret sauce. Being high value isn't about appearances alone, it's about emotional fortitude. Picture Marcus Aurelius. Not because he wore a nice toga, but because he didn't crumble under the weight of an empire. A high-value man doesn't panic, doesn't flinch, and certainly doesn't let the winds of emotion blow him off course. When a woman sees a man like that, calm, composed, unshaken, it ignites something primal in her. She knows she's not looking at a boy chasing approval, but a man standing tall in his own skin. And that, my friends, is a force no makeup or perfume can rival. 5. Desire for financial stability, a deep-rooted instinct. The notion of financial stability. It's not about gold-plated mansions or yachts docked in Monaco. No, my friend, a woman's desire for financial stability is far more primal, more profound than the glint of a diamond or the whisper of silk. It's about security. It's about knowing that the man standing beside her won't topple like a house of cards when the storms of life roll in. But here's where men stumble. They dismiss this desire as shallow, labeling it materialistic. That's like calling a compass superficial because it points north. Financial stability isn't about wealth, it's about mastery. Mastery of your resources, your decisions, your ability to navigate chaos with a steady hand. Take Zeno of Citium, for instance. Here was a man who lost his fortune at sea, a catastrophe that would have sent most into fits of despair. Did Zeno crumble? Not a chance. Instead, he rose from the wreckage, finding stability not in gold, but in discipline, wisdom, and unyielding resilience. His was the kind of steadiness that no tide could erode. Now let's not forget Cleanthes, who, despite carrying water by day and studying philosophy by night, embodied control over his circumstances. He didn't need riches to display strength. His discipline and dedication spoke volumes, proving that financial stability isn't measured by the weight of your coin purse, but by the strength of your character. Women aren't hunting for millionaires. They're drawn to men who know how to manage what they have. A man who can adapt, persevere, and steer the ship through rocky waters without capsizing. Whether it's Zeno rebuilding from nothing, Cleanthes working with purpose, or even Marcus Aurelius ruling an empire without being ruled by it, the lesson is clear. Stability comes from within. When a woman sees that you're not easily shaken, that you can balance the books of your life with calm authority, it ignites her trust. Because at the end of the day, it's not the size of the treasure chest, but the steadiness of the captain that sets the course. 6. The need to feel special. A timeless dance. The delicate art of making a woman feel special. Walk this line poorly, my friend, and you'll tumble into one of two pits. Neglect, where she feels like an afterthought, or worship, where you've handed her your spine on a silver platter. Neither is a good look for a man of worth. Women have an innate desire to feel unique, irreplaceable, as though the stars themselves aligned just to set her in your orbit. But here's the catch. This isn't about groveling at her feet or singing her praises like a bard in love. No, sir. This is about showing her she's special while keeping both feet firmly planted on the ground. You see, too many men misunderstand this dance. They leap straight into worship, showering her with so much attention that she drowns in it, leaving her bored and suffocated. But a high-value man, he knows better. He understands that making her feel special doesn't require a pedestal, it requires presence. It's in the way you look at her when she shares a story, the way you notice the little things no one else sees, and the way you challenge her, not just agree with her. But don't mistake this for self-sacrifice. You're not abandoning your own value to inflate hers. Quite the opposite. By holding your ground, by maintaining your standards, you send a powerful message. I value you because I also value myself. And let me tell you, women notice that balance. The secret is in the tension. She doesn't want to be your entire world. She wants to be part of a world that's already full and meaningful. Show her she's special, but not the sun around which you orbit. And in that balance, you'll create a dynamic so magnetic, so irresistible, she won't be able to look away. 7. The fear of abandonment, a tale as old as time. Ah, the fear of abandonment. A ghost that lingers in the corners of a woman's mind, whispering tales of being left behind. It's an ancient echo, carved into the stone of human evolution, when survival depended on partnership. Though today's woman might stand tall and independent, that whisper still lingers, shaping her emotions in ways even she may not understand. And what do most men do when they sense this fear? They panic. They overcorrect. They smother her with constant reassurance, turning themselves into a human safety net. But here's the rub. Instead of calming her fears, they suffocate her respect. A man who clings too tightly sends a message, loud and clear. He fears losing her more than she fears losing him. And that, my dear warrior, is not the dynamic you want. So, what does a high-value man do? He doesn't fight the fear with flowery words or endless availability. No, he calms it with quiet consistency. His actions speak louder than any promise. He shows up, not as a shadow that follows her every move, but as a mountain, steady and immovable, no matter how the winds howl. Here's the key. A woman doesn't want a man who stays because he must. She wants a man who could leave, yet chooses to stay. There's power in that choice, and it reassures her far more than frantic declarations of devotion. Independence is your strength. Show her that while your life is complete without her, it's better with her in it. That balance, that paradox of freedom and commitment, is where her fear of abandonment transforms into admiration, respect, and trust. Play it right, and she won't just feel secure, she'll feel utterly captivated. Well, there you have it, gentlemen. The hidden gears and cogs that drive the grand clockwork of human connection. Now the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it gather dust like an old book on a forgotten shelf? Or will you take it in hand and shape yourself into the man you've always known you could be? Each of these vulnerabilities we've uncovered isn't just a window into the female psyche. They're mirrors reflecting your own potential. To understand them is to master not only your relationships, but your own spirit. And let me tell you, there's no greater adventure than the one where you transform yourself into a man of purpose, wisdom, and unshakable strength. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just sit there nodding like a wise owl. Take action. Start leading with intention. Control your emotions like the captain of a storm-tossed ship, and stand firm in your values no matter how the winds blow. If you're ready to accept this challenge, then scroll down and type "Challenge accepted" in the comments. Declare it to the world, and more importantly, to yourself. And while you're down there, why not like this video, share it with a fellow warrior, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon too, so you won't miss the next step in this incredible journey. This is just the beginning, my friend. The best version of yourself is waiting. Now go claim it.